What is up, everybody? Shauna D-Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are back with our episode 9 review of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Hope you guys are ready to jump into this week's little quick review of this series. We've got both episode 9 and 10 yesterday. Episode 9, obviously you're watching now. Episode 10, I will probably have up tomorrow or Saturday. And then there's also a chance that I might go live on this channel Saturday. So I haven't really fully decided just yet, but that is something that you can keep an eye out for sure. If you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure you comment afterwards. Tell me what you thought about this series. But other than that, let's jump into episode 9 of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So, all right. So picking up where we left from last week, obviously, Harry crafted Peter's traditional blue and red Spider-Man suit, and we got that in action in this episode. We kind of start off with Otto, Octavius, and Osborn. Osborn just taunting Otto, like, I put you here, I tracked you down, I tipped off Ross to your location. He talked about how it was like poetic justice that Stark or Iron Man was the one to bring him in. But now the deal of it was because of Norman tipping off Ross to take in Otto, all of Otto's experiments, everything he's worked on now belongs to Oscorp. Not surprising. This is probably how Norman has accumulated a lot of his stuff over the years as he was building up Oscorp. Otto is definitely not happy. He's not having it. Like he gets some good jabs in at Osborn, talking about how one of me is worth 1,000 of you, and so he's gonna get his revenge on Norman. But man, I still got to get used to the voice actor of Otto Octavius. But other than that, he's been all right as kind of like a side villainish of season 1. But the main focus of this episode, it revolves around the Scorpion, Loonie, and Spider-Man. So the previous episode, what we heard was that there was a robbery in progress. I assume it was related to what we got in this episode, where Loonie, Dawn, and the 1/10th Street gang trying to take the equipment from Otto's lab that they got the information from Chameleon last episode to make things even against the Scorpions and Matt Gargan. Well, things obviously do not go as planned. And Nico just happens to be walking in the area because her and Pearl were hanging out, trying to like spend some girls' time with each other. And Nico almost get crushed by the Oscorp truck, but luckily Peter just happens to arrive at the nick of time in order to save her from being crushed by it. She held up. I'm very curious about the amulet that she's wearing because like she held it up just before the truck hit her, and then in the previous, I believe like it was the previous episode when her and Harry were street racing. I'm curious, or maybe it was episode. Maybe, yeah, no, it was episode 7. Yeah, it was episode 7 when her and Harry were like street racing. Like her amulet had glowed, and I'm not sure how to describe it, but it kind of like, because they were going to hit a car, her amulet glowed, and then she was able to like quickly move away from being potentially hitting the car. So I'm very curious about this amulet. What is the purpose of it? Because it seems to have some kind of magical properties about it. Because even towards the end of the episode, after the fight with Gargan and everything, Nico and Peter are talking, and he's like, you know what, from now on, no more secrets. And she looks at her amulet kind of like, yeah, no more secrets, as if she has a secret that Peter doesn't know. So I'm very curious to know on what's the deal with Nico's character. I haven't watched episode 10 yet, so I'm not. So it may be at the time we're recording this, it possibly could be revealed in that episode. So we'll have to just wait and see. But as far as the center point of this episode, so Lonnie is definitely trying to make sure nobody gets hurt because he's like, the police, and we get into this car chase where Lonnie's like telling Don to like chill, like somebody's gonna get hurt. Then Peter shows up to basically put a stop to it, but also the Scorpions showed up. So we get into a big brawl once again with the 110th Street Gang with the Scorpions. And with Peter, you can tell that he is having like PTSD from his earlier encounter with Scorpion and him almost getting killed. And let's just say Don is a wuss. He is a wuss. Gargan had him dead to rights, getting ready to like take him out until Peter kind of like snaps back into it and begins to take on Scorpion. And Don just gets it. He's like, I'm out of here. And he gets in his car and he drives off. Get out of here with that crap. Like, he wasn't about that life. But we do see Lonnie like step up and like he sees what's going on and he's like, okay, the best possible way to level the playing field is to get into the Oscorp truck, get some kind of weapon to help level the playing field against the Scorpions and Gargan. Well, he goes into, and I was curious about this from the very beginning. I was wondering what were they going to do to turn Lonnie Lincoln into Tombstone. And while he's in the back of the Oscorp truck trying to find some kind of weapon to use, he knocks over a container of gas, and he inhales it and things like that. Ultimately, I don't know if it gave him like super strength, but it definitely like gave him invincibility, which is like traditional with like I believe when it comes to Tombstone. And so, because during the fight with Scorpion, he catches Scorpion's tail, and it looks like the tail breaks when Gargan tries to stab Lonnie. It looks like the tip of it breaks off. It may have increased his strength some, but he still looked kind of injured towards the end of the fight because he was like holding his side. He had some scrapes and bruises. I wonder if there's just if the process of it is not complete of him turning into Tombstone. I wonder because obviously he has like the bluish skin. I guess depending on what adaptation you look like, majority of them all he has like kind of bluish skin and things like that. So that process is probably still ongoing. So he probably has not hit the full version of Tombstone just yet. But him and Peter do team up to take down Scorpion, and which at first I was like, oh, come on, is he really gonna like not defeat Scorpion on his own? He has to have help in order to do it. But lo and behold, that wasn't the case. Like while Peter and Lonnie are high-fiving each other, Scorpion crushes Lonnie, which obviously we find out that he's fine. But that causes Peter to like reminisce about what Norman was talking about, how he's holding back. Scorpion's not going to hold back. His enemies aren't going to hold back. He has to use his power to the full extent, and he's wiping the floor with Scorpion pretty much. Like he just wipes the floor with them to the point where Peter's ready to end Scorpion, which again it's a little cheap because we saw it in No Way Home where Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker stops Tom Holland's Peter Parker from killing the Green Goblin after obviously he killed Aunt May. And a little, it's like, okay, you probably could have done something different in regards to that. But in the end, what Lonnie said to him was like, people look up to you. You're a hero. You don't want to go down this path, and Gargan gets taken into custody. The 110th Street Gang retreats. The Scorpions retreat. And all's well that ends well. And then later on, Peter discusses with Norman how he almost crossed the line. And I don't know if that was Norman's intent was to get Peter to cross the line when he was talking about that, but he did tell Peter that you know you had the opportunity to end Scorpion, but you chose not to. You chose to show mercy. And he said that's one of the toughest roads that you can go on. And again, it's kind of like the same thing with, in my opinion, was Batman, the Batman and Joker. Obviously, Batman has a no kill rule. Joker has no rule. He will do whatever he wants. He'll kill whoever he wants. Like, Batman will continue to stop and put Joker away, only for Joker to get out and cause havoc all over again. And so Peter, realizing that he doesn't, it got dark. He almost crossed the line that he probably could not have come back from. But he was able to, with the help of Loonie, step back from that abyss and realize, at least to me, maybe realize this is like, maybe what Norman said isn't as factual. Was great power comes great respect. But we'll see. We'll see how things shape out in episode 10 when I watch it. But the episode ends because if you remember last episode, in episode 8, we saw Peter getting treated at Oscorp and things like that. He had his blood taken. Well, obviously, Norman has been doing side projects. So number one, we learned about the glider has been being worked on. I'm trying to remember what else there was. There's conversations about Peter and Dr. Connor's power source that they have been working on. There's one scientist talking about the equipment that Otto had. They should have test trials for that at the end of the week. And then we learned that they've been messing with radioactive spiders, injecting them with Peter's blood. So I mean, obviously Norman's up to no good. It's not a big surprise. But yeah, man, it was definitely an interesting episode. I was fine with it. No big gripes about it. Like Scorpion was a very good villain. And now we have episode 10 that came out. I need to watch that one and have a review for that. Like I said, I should have that up this weekend. And then also I may do a live stream this weekend as well. Pretty much just talking about everything about Marvel's phase, 4 or 5, the whole multiverse saga thing. So I may talk about that. And then over on the gaming channel right now, we are going through a playthrough, or at least my first time playthrough of Resident Evil 2. So if you definitely want to go over there and check that out as well. But other than that, guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. But other than that, I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.